Nashorn, initially known as Hornisse, was a German tank destroyer of World War II. It was developed as an interim solution in 1942 by equipping a light turretless chassis with the Pak-43 heavy anti-tank gun. Though only lightly armored and displaying a high profile, it could frontally penetrate any Allied tank at long range, and its relatively low cost and superior mobility to heavier vehicles ensured it remained in production until the war's end. Development. After the first German experiences with the newer Soviet tanks like the T-34 or the Kliment Voroshilov tank during Operation Barbarossa, the need for a Panzer jar currency gear capable of destroying these more heavily armored tanks became clear. In February 1942, the Alkit arms firm of Berlin designed a tank destroyer using their recently developed Gischer 1/4 3/4, which, as its name indicated, used components of both the Panzer III and Panzer IV tank. The 8 cm Panzerabwehrkanone 43 First Cell/71, a long-barreled anti-tank gun more known as the main armament of the Tiger II, was mounted on the rear of the chassis complete with its gun shield, and an open-topped superstructure was built up around the gun to give the crew some protection. The gun had the same traverse and elevation as if it had been on its carriage, 15 degree to either side and between -5 degree to +15 degree elevation. To accommodate the long and heavy gun, the hull had to be lengthened and the engine moved from the rear to the center of the chassis. The amount of armor provided for the crew compartment was limited. The shielding provided was adequate to protect the crew from blast and small arms, but not armor-piercing rounds. Thus, like the Marder series weapons, the vehicle was not intended to engage in tank fights, but to provide mobility to an excellent anti-tank gun. This model was presented for approval to Adolf Hitler in October 1942 and entered production in early 1943. It had numerous official designations, such as 8 cm Pak-43 off Panzerkampfwagen 3/4 or 8 cm Pak-43 off Gischer 1/4 3/4, though it was also known as the Panzer jar currency gear Hornisse. During the first half of 1943, a new model of the Hornisse was introduced into production. This model altered the driver's front armor plate, along with other minor differences. This model and its predecessor, the few early production vehicles, were almost indistinguishable. It was renamed Nashorn by Hitler in 1944. Total production of the Nashorn amounted to some 494 vehicles, most of which were built in 1943. In January 1944, Hitler favored production of a newer tank destroyer, the Jagdpanzer IV, which had a much lower silhouette, thicker frontal armor, and an effective though less powerful 7.5 cm gun. Though still primarily an ambush weapon, this vehicle was better built for armored engagements. Production of the Nashorn did continue into 1945, though at a slow pace. There are 2 Nashorns on display in military museums, at the United States Army Ordnance Museum and at the Kubinka Tank Museum. Combat service. The Hornisse Nashorn was issued to the heavy anti-tank battalions, with which 6 would eventually be equipped: Schwer Panzer jar currency gear 80 along 560, 655, 525, 93, 519 and 88. Each battalion was equipped with 45 Nashorns. Nashorn's gun was a variant of Pak-43, one of the most effective anti-tank guns deployed during the war and closely related to guns used later for Ferdinand Elephant, Tiger II, and Jagd Panther. Its tungsten carbide Euro-cored round, PZGR 40/43, was capable of penetrating 190 mm of rolled steel armor at a 30° angle of impact at a distance of 1,000 m. The gun's tremendous performance enabled Nashorn to penetrate the front plating of any Allied armored vehicle and to engage enemy units while staying out of range themselves. The Hornisse Nashorn made its debut during the Battle of Kursk, where they performed well. The ability to engage the enemy at long distances negated the disadvantages of light armor and a high profile and revealed the weapon was suited to the open, flat landscape of much of Russia. Armor. Technical data, manufacturer, Deutsche Eisenach AG, Interpolizische Paragraph Now, crew, 4 or 5, combat weight, 24 metric tons, Dimensions: length 8.44 meters, length 7.26 meters, width 2.95 m, 3.176 m with O-skeleton tracks. Heights 2.65 m, ground clearance 0.4 m. Road speed 42 km per hour, road range 235 km, tracks 61,120 kilograms, type single pin, width 400 mm, ground contact length 3.80 meters, shoes, links/track 104, ground pressure 0.85 kilograms mass squared. Suspension, leaf spring, shock absorbers, no, vertical obstacle 0.6 m, trench 2.3 m, fording 0.8 m, engine Maybach L120 TRM AUSF. Type V1260 DEG, horsepower 300 picoseconds at 3000 rpms, displacement 11,867 L, compression ratio 6.2-6.51, fuel, gasoline, fuel consumption 2 liters per kilometer, fuel capacity 470 L. Transmission, ZF SSG77 Afan, type, synchromesh manual, gears, 6/1. Steering, Daimler-Benz Wilson clutch brake, clutch, Victor and Saxlar 120 HDA dry, triple disc, armament, main gun, 88 mm Pak 43/1, type, anti-tank gun, caliber, 88 mm, barrel length, 71 calibers, breech, semi-automatic, horizontal sliding block, traverse, manual, +/-15 a degree, elevation, manual, +20/-5 a degree, rounds carried, 24 to 40, 17.92 x 57 mm MG34 or MG42 machine gun carried inside the vehicle, APPR. 600 rounds. Primary gun sight, SFL. ZF1A, magnification, 5x, field of view, 8 a degree. Indirect fire sight, a Schiffsrichtmittel 38, magnification, 3x, field of view, 10 a degree. Radio, FOG SPR. F. Notes, 15 mm after May 1943. External links, Achtung Panzer. Nashorn page, World War II vehicles, Hornisse manual, armor penetration table of 8.8 cm Pak 43, surviving Panzer IV variants, a PDF file presenting the Panzer IV variants still existing in the world.